All right. Um, Hello, everyone. This is Petra here, who's come to join me for another time for us to talk together. Hi, Petra.
Hi, Neptune. Nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too. It's been such a long time since we spoke, like just, regular friends, but also on camera. And a lot has, yeah, you've been through a lot. And so, what we really want to talk today about is your experience with, you've just recently been through the 96 level initiation, and you're walking on this other side now too. So I just thought, first, could you just give like a little bit of background of, like, what it was like leading up to the initiation, and what helped you to sort of get to the other side?
Yeah. Well, I know that a few months ago you asked me to participate in this video about Christhood. And I know that I had a reaction in myself because I was approaching the 96 level. I didn't realize that because I really thought that I was just beyond it. Yeah. So, but something in me just, when you asked me the question, then I thought like, I don't know what crisis is, like some kind of voice within me. I was just a little bit disappointed, or I can't really put it in words, but something in me was just now, I don't know what crisis is, so I'm not going to participate in this because I really don't know. But I was on the bed. I was really, really, working hard to transcend myself, to look at my psychology, and I even thought I was beyond it. So I kind of didn't know why I had that reaction. Um, and then another voice said to me like, "You don't have to be so popular online or whatever. Just it's not about you or whatever." I don't know what it was. So I just said to you like, I'm not, I don't feel to do the interview right now.
Yeah, yeah, you really put the wall down. Well, or the self in you really put the wall down. I was like,
And it
okay,
was nothing personal to you, but I
yeah,
just thought like, no, this is all like a like you, it's a play. I'm not going to participate in this play.
mm.
And I realized it later, but because when I passed initiation, I was like, okay, yeah, of course I want to participate because of course, so I didn't have that anymore. But okay, so yeah, that's a very different from then. But I didn't realize that I was close to that level. And then I wrote about it on Facebook also that I faced a certain situation, and that was really a beautiful initiation for me to see and to realize that I really was not. I did not cross the line. Um,
How did you realize it? Like, yeah, what went through your
yeah, because
mind?
I was in the conference on Kazakhstan, and I was talking first to Julita and also to Kim, and we were sitting like, I don't know, there was another person there. I thought it was Hans Peter or something who was also sitting there, and we had a conversation about why I always attracted men who are emotionally not available and all those things, and I said also like I don't understand and. Why everyone has a relationship and why I don't have it, it's every time it doesn't work. And I know that at a certain point I realized I had that attachment. It was an attachment. I realized that because I was still wanting something from this world, a relationship.
Mm.
But for me, on the other side, it was also like, but everyone has it, so it's normal, that's how that ego-based self below the 96 level reasons like it's normal, everyone has it, so it's normal that you pursue a relationship because spiritual people beyond 96 level also pursue a relationship. But it was so subtle because I really felt inside I need the relationship. I was not whole without it. So there was a pull, uh, and that is not neutral. There was not something like, oh, I would like to have a partner like now. Oh, it's okay to have a partner, but it doesn't matter if he's here or not, if I have it or not, if I will ever have it, because I'm whole. I feel complete within myself, so it's all good. It's not that way. Below the 96 level is just like, I really need it. I really need it. I really miss it. You feel a lack. And then Kim just said, like, I said to Kim, like, but then I'm below the 96 level. And Kim said, like, yeah. I was like, oh my God. So my ego was just shattered, and like the next day, I told Julita, like, I really thought I was beyond the level. It was so funny. I needed one whole day to just let it sink in and to just accept that I really was not beyond it. And my ego said also, when I was below, said, like, but you're working on your psychology. You are transcending yourself constantly. So you are beyond. Because when you are beyond, you are working on your psychology. You are looking inside. So you are beyond. It's okay. Just leave it. Just leave me. So yeah, just the second day, I kind of like, okay, I'm going to accept this. And then it really came to me when Paul Venetian gave his dictation about surrendering the separate self. And I know Julita was in front of me and she was just looking at me like, it's about you, this dictation. It's like, and I realized, like, yes, it is about me. And I really felt a lot of nurturance and support in the group where I was with other students. It was such a loving place to be and to transcend myself that way. Being in that situation where I had all those loving people around me, and the masters giving their dictations about crossing the 96 level, I just really felt nurtured. And it was so easy to let go. It was really easy to let go. The choice to make, the decision to make, like, yes, I'm leaving behind. So it was like, for me, it was a grace from God to experience it that way, because it was really a loving way to let go, to surrender that ego-based self below, the 96 level. So it was a great experience.
Yeah, wow. Wow.
Yeah.
And so, like, did you have, like, some, like, did you feel like very, very humbled and everything when you realized that you thought, your ego thought you were beyond, but then when you realized you weren't, like, did it feel like, humbling? Like, did you feel humility?
I don't know. I just surrendered it. And the only thing that I want to make sure is that I'm really beyond it. And I know that there was, that the master said, like, when you go beyond it, or when you are on that transition, then you still have that last part that says, like, you are not beyond it. You are not there.
Yeah.
You are just not, you are not, you did not cross. You are still below. And then, but how do I know that I'm beyond it? How do I know, So it was just like the last part that tried to pull you back and to say, like, no, you're not beyond. You are still there where you were. It's just like you think you are, but you are not. And I needed, like, after the conference, I realized I really was beyond it. But you also have to choose to, like, accept that, yes, I am there, you know. And I also felt like I really feel different inside. I really feel that I don't really need, um, I don't really want nothing from this world. I don't want it. I don't want to be attached. I, I, I don't need it anymore. I just choose to be with the masters, to choose to transcend myself, to choose to give that higher service, to serve the masters. I don't want things from this world. So it was also a choice that I had to make.
Mm.
Um, and it was so easy to make that choice when I saw clearly what that ego-based self was pulling me into. It
Yeah.
was for me like very clear, like I don't want that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's humility. I felt like, oh, my ego thought I was there. So I didn't feel that anymore because I was not connected to that ego-based self anymore. So yeah, maybe in a way it was humility.
Mm.
Yeah, because I didn't thought like, oh, I'm it. You know, I just said
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm not there. You know, I was not there. So yeah, of course, I'm
Yeah.
not so spiritually evolved being like I thought I was. No.
Yeah. Like when I look back to, when I moved to the other side, and I realized that before I had this mindset of what it is to be the Christ. I thought I had it all under control and I knew what it was. And so once I actually moved into, the very beginnings of Christhood, I just there was nothing real there. Like I couldn't make sense, or it wasn't like what my ego thought it was. So I felt really, really lost and like sort of like I was almost like in a giant vacuum where, I couldn't see where I was going. I didn't recognize anything. I couldn't even recognize myself. Like I felt like, I was nobody and I was nothing. And I questioned myself a fair bit, like thinking, oh, am I just making this up? Is this just another one of these things you're making up? And that period sort of lasted for a little while. And so you described, something similar for yourself. So what was it like, has it been like, on the other side?
Yeah. Well, 3, 4 weeks after the conference, I really felt like empty. You know, in the beginning, you feel like I felt like, oh yeah, I made my victory. Yes, 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 I'm beyond the 96th level. But then it all sank in, and then I realized like, what what am I doing here? What if I don't have a goal anymore outside? You know, I don't have a relationship I need, or because I don't need anything now because the wanting a relationship was the only thing that kept me bound to this world. And I realized, but I don't have a goal. What am I going to do now? So I really felt like a vacuum, an emptiness, and I know that I reached out to Julita and I asked, like, what is this? I really don't know what to do with myself because I don't have a goal. I feel like empty and I don't have the connection. I don't experience like the connection with the masters. And I realized she supported me like great in that way by, because she passed it already long ago. So for me, it was just very helpful to reach out to her and just like, sister, what's up, what's this? And then she told me like, it's normal that that you for a certain period you experience a vacuum, but you have to go through that. And I really did that also because it didn't last for a very long time because then I just accepted also the vacuum because it was like an empty space that you are in, but it's not filled right now.
Yeah.
So the ego-based self, the self that you had, you have a space. It was filled with
Yep.
that goal, Now that goal is gone. So there's a space here, and you think like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah.
It's empty,
Yeah.
and then I just sank into that space, and I just thought like, I'm going to experience this phase with this space. And when I sank into it, I kind of accepted it bit by bit, and I really felt right now that I'm in that space, because I still don't know what my goal is in this world,
Mm.
but I feel very, very peaceful, and I can really enjoy, because in that space I'm with myself,
Mm.
and when I'm with myself I really enjoy my own company. So I kind of experience it as a really beautiful, peaceful place where I'm in, and it's a safe space also. So and then in that space I see things in my psychology that I need to resolve.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the outside world anymore that is triggering me. It's inside of me that I see certain things. Like right now, it's now about 2 months already, almost, that the conference has ended, and that I had gone beyond the 96 level. And I feel a heaviness, an energy. And I again reached out to Julita, like, what is this? That heavy energy that I feel by being here on Earth. And then she reminded me, like, yeah, you need to resolve, like, why you came to Earth. How is your relationship to Earth? Why did you came here? The resolution of free will, all those things. So it's a big theme that I have to work through, and it's
Yeah.
not like a self, like,
Yeah.
oh, this is an ego-based self, I just have to let it die. It's another thing that is related to my birth trauma. So there's
Mm.
a lot of work to do for me, but I'm joyful in that because I have a goal.
Yeah.
So but
Yeah,
it's totally
I
different.
find myself working through a lot of that cosmic birth trauma, I suppose you
Yeah,
call it, too. Like, and I just feel like it's just like, I just strip away bits at a time, and I feel
yeah,
like, ah, I've just, I'm a little bit more accepting of free will. Like, and it's just,
yeah,
and then a little bit more, like, I try another action, then I observe people expressing their free will. Observe myself expressing my free will, and then, a little bit more comes away. So,
yeah.
yeah, it's just like thin little
Yeah,
gossamer layers
it's
coming.
about what we talk about before this interview,
Yeah.
where we talk about that, like that I was with some person yesterday, and
Hmm.
I just felt like I want to say something, even though I know that I would how do you call it? I would His ego will react,
Yeah.
because his ego will not like what I'm going to say, but I still felt that I really need to express myself, because it's just my experience, and I have a right to have that experience and to express it, and not to think like I did in the past. Well, I will ruin the relationship if I don't do it,
Yeah.
so I'm not going to express myself.
And he has a right to have whatever experience he has, even if he
Yes,
reacts, because that's
yeah.
just his
So
journey.
yeah, I realized later, like yesterday, I just expressed it. I saw that he had a reaction, but he didn't react negatively, but still, you have to process it.
Yeah.
So I will see in the future how that works out. But I realized this morning, like, but yeah, I did express myself. It was okay, because it's just sharing myself. Um, and however the other person reacts to my expression, yeah, that's totally okay. I'm not responsible for his reaction to me, because I didn't have any negative intentions with it. So It's totally okay. And I accept my own free will in expressing myself. And I accept also that he will maybe reject me. Maybe he will not. But I already accepted that. So for me, it's totally fine. Whatever happens, happens. But I'm not bothered by it anymore. So that's the way I'm practicing it little by little to express myself, feel that reaction in myself, like, okay, I have expressed myself. I never did it before because in the past I would be afraid that people will reject me. And now I just like, yes, I did it. It was genuine. I am okay with it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm not going to evaluate it because it was my higher self that did it. So just leave it. And whatever comes back, it's also okay. So that's how it works, like accepting your own free will and also accepting the other person's free will. And yeah, that's the way I do it right now, little by little, day by day.
Yeah. And like I'm beginning to see, like when I really, really sort of, let somebody else go to, their own free will, whatever they're doing, whether they're rejecting or projecting or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
If I hold zero, if I'm totally neutral, then it actually takes the pressure off them in actually, the way
Yeah.
they're going to process everything. Because you know how
Yeah.
we always can pick up on it when somebody's projecting something on us. So if we're not projecting on them, then they don't have that pressure and they can actually get
Yeah.
closer to their truth. So we really are, yeah, like we're really freeing people up to make their own genuine choices, a lot
Yeah.
faster that way.
Yeah. But what I really want to add to this is that when I passed the 96 level, I really thought like, yes, I'm there. I'm on the other side. I'm just totally free of everything. I will now have the masters. I just had that, I don't know, a completely non-realistic expectation about, well, now I'm there, you know. Yeah, of course, I still have unresolved psychology that I need to work through, but now the masters will appear. Maybe how will they appear? No, 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 not at all. You still have your unresolved psychology. You have just taken one step up. You know, it's just one step. Okay, it's a giant leap in the sense that you leave the ego, but you are still you, and you have to still let go hold of these layers. So it's not that the masses will appear suddenly. It's not that there will be some magical thing happening and that you now, I did have some kind unconscious expectation about it. And that was at the same point also my some kind of disappointment, but also a fear, like, but the masters are not here. Will they really, are they, will they really support me? Are they still here? And when I realized that I was just, I had a fear that the masters will not be there, I could also let go of that and accept, like, okay, I'm just projecting some kind of expectation about what should happen right now after I pass the initiation. And I need to let it go of it because as there were certain things that I was experiencing within myself that I thought like, but this is not Christ that I experience in myself. This is really ego based, and these are lower thoughts. How could I have it? But I passed the 96 level. How could I have the negative thoughts? Like very ego driven, and it was just a self that was below the 96 level still. So I really had some dualistic self yet that I've taken with me, but I really was like, and I asked Julita, like Julita, what's that? I experienced this, within me, this self, and this self is this is what it thinks, and I'm a little bit confused. How can I have this?
Yeah.
She told me, yes, you can have it because you are still resolving your psychology, and you can have selves with you from below, even below the 96 level that you took with you and that you now can look at and let go of. So, but I didn't know that. So I really was a little bit disturbed by it and like felt even bad about it that feel even that I did, like, am I really beyond the 96 level? Because
Yeah.
I have like these thoughts, and of course, and I'm so happy that I could reach out to her so she could just give me that confirmation, like, it's okay, just relax, you just have to, you need to work through it, and it's all gonna be good. You have to look at it, resolve it, see what's behind it. And so it really was very helpful for me, because I really thought, like, oh my god, I'm wrong by having all these things still in my psychology, you know.
I felt the same thing. Like I was kind of like, I just realized I was being self-focused again. Like I could see self-focus still happening, and yeah, I turned to your leader too and said, what is this? And she's just like, Dory, there's plenty more dualistic stuff to keep working through. So, yeah. And the good thing is once you accept that and you just realize, oh, okay, so I just, keep resolving
Yeah,
everything,
yeah.
and it's it's not so much of a shock anymore. Like, the only time I did feel a certain shock was when my primal self came up and I was able to resolve it. But yeah, I was really quite shocked because it's just such an intense self. And I
So did you
actually,
resolve it?
huh?
Did you resolve it, your primal self?
Yeah,
Did you
yeah,
resolve it?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
How do you know that?
Because I know what it was. I know its belief. Like I just knew when it came up. I was just like, I knew exactly what it was. I was like, this is my primal self. This is. It's like this self-sabotage mechanism that would just destroy everything. Like, destroy everything for me, destroy everything for everybody else. Like just an awful program that just kept running in me.
Yeah.
So it was a shock when it happened because I'd been very, very balanced beforehand, very peaceful, and everything was nice and easy. And so when it came up, I knew, wow, this is major. But I was, because I'd moved beyond this initiation where you just, you're quite accepting that everything's got to go. Like, I just thought, right, well, I'm going to let this go. Like, I'm going to do everything possible, and it's time, because it's only going
Hmm.
to sabotage the expression of my personal Christhood, and there's nothing more important to me than that. And so I just got to work. I did a session with Kim, and he helped me just sort of pin down the actual belief of it. Like, and I already had the answers already inside of myself, and the belief of my primal self was that I don't trust people, and that I don't trust myself around people. And
So how did your primal self sabotage you, or the situations? How did it do it?
just in any way it could, like, basically because it had the belief that I don't trust so lots and lots of people can't be trusted. Like, that's just a
Yeah.
fact. But the
Yes.
primal self had to be validated, so it would find ways to not trust just about anyone. Like, I could not trust you. I could not trust, people who are totally trustworthy. Like, my primal self made sure when I was just before the 96 level, it didn't, I didn't trust Yolita, I didn't trust Kim, I didn't trust Jesus. Like,
Yeah.
that was all primal self
Yeah.
doing this. And
And after the 96 level, you still had that primal self, but how did it sabotage? What was, like,
there
take
was
the
a,
situation between
there
me
was
and
a
you, like,
situation, and it was a person who is not a bad person,
yeah.
and um, I don't know. I just sort of, the primal self just basically, just got frustrated with that person, and but in my mind it just seems so much bigger than what it really was.
But
This.
was your primal self still seeing people as not trustworthy?
Yeah,
So after 96 level, you still had that feeling like I can't trust people.
some people, like in just some
Some people.
situations, yeah, it
Yeah.
just
But how did it
I
sabotage your relationships? What did it do with, what did it do? How did it react that you realize like, oh, I'm sabotaging, it is sabotaging my relationships? How did
yeah,
you look at?
I just it's kind of like it's almost like the negative things would happen like magic, like like it's hard to sort of put it into words, but I just end up in situations where either with narcissistic people, and they'd manipulate me and abuse me, and and it was like, there, see, they can't be trusted. But then someone who was trustworthy, like, I would sort of, it was almost like I was subconsciously kind of pushing them until, they get frustrated with me, and then I'd have,
Ah, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
yeah. Um,
So you saw that part in you that was sabotaging your relationship, and you was just like, oh my God.
yeah. And I was just like, it has to go now. And
Yeah,
Kim helped me to see, that the belief, and he also helped me to see that the part of me that said, and I don't trust myself around people, that was actually my conscious you talking about the
yeah,
primal self, which is true. Like, my primal self is not trustworthy. I couldn't trust myself when I did that. And then I did a session with my psychologist, who, she knows me really well. She knows my primal self really well too. And I said, I don't want to talk about what happened. I want you to help me, like, I just want you to help me trick my mind so I can get outside of this and let it go, like,
yeah,
so I can really see that it's not real. And I cannot begin to tell you exactly what happened, but after about 45 minutes of, like, just dancing around, like, with questions of, like, who is it that thinks this way, and all those sort of things, all of a sudden I just realized, I just thought to myself, I am more than this. And I actually just felt it just melt from my body. It was like I really felt like it died. I could feel a whole death. It was almost like my body died and I was free of the body. It was just such a beautiful, a physical, a very, very real experience, like, not like with any other self, not like when I moved beyond the 96 level. Like, it was
yeah,
a very distinct experience. And I've actually, since, I happened to come across one of Jesus's dictations, and how Jesus, he gave up that final ghost when he was on the cross,
yeah.
and he was, expecting that God would send angels to save him, and then he realized, oh, this body's going to die, this is it.
Hmm.
And he gave up the ghost, and he said
Yeah,
that was his primal self. It was the final self that Jesus gave up, and
yeah.
so, yeah, um,
So how do you feel after you let die the primal self? What's the difference?
much better. I'm just, I'm just so much more accepting of everything, like, yeah, I can't
So do
be,
you trust people right now, or how do you look at that? I'm curious.
well, put it this way, I'm not shocked anymore. So if someone does
Aha, okay.
something that seems like it's not trustworthy, then I'm not shocked by it. Like,
No,
um, I
you
don't
you
even,
still know that people, because they have separate self, of course. Of course, it are the separate selves that can be trusted.
yeah.
But so you have, but you don't. Is it that you don't feel threatened by it anymore?
Yeah, I don't feel threatened. That's it. Yeah, I
Yeah,
don't feel threatened. If someone has a big reaction to me, or they they say something awful, and that's designed to sort of hurt me, like I'm just okay with that now. It's like, okay, all right, I mean, I do have to process it a bit because, I'm not free of all selves or anything, but
Yeah,
yeah, I can just accept, like, yeah, it's okay.
it's beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But I'm enjoying like the process of just, you know, in day-to-day life, in every single interaction of, like in workplace or with, people that you see regularly. Like I just, I'm at this point where I'm just saying to myself, like, you can let go of a little bit more of, behaving in the ways that people expect you to behave, in a
yeah,
workplace or in this situation or in that situation, and just be a bit more true to yourself every single
yeah,
time. And so,
yeah.
yeah, I'm curious, like, how does that look for you in your life?
Yeah, I do. I'm very aware of it.
Mm.
I have, I listen especially to the dictations of the masses from Kazakhstan, but also from Lithuania, but especially Kazakhstan, the last dictations. And I also, it's all about expressing ourselves, and that's just have the courage to do it. Just even if in a situation you feel inside of you not some emotional reaction, but you just feel a genuine um, intention, and yeah, you can express this. You can write this. So it's just like suddenly, it's not you think about it or whatever. It's just suddenly there, and you have the opportunity to do it or to not do it. And sometimes it's like, oh, but I don't know how other people will react. That's the first thing that then comes to you. But then you can also like make the decision. Yes, I'm going to express myself, and that's what I'm constantly doing. And also know that I have that self that felt rejected by the people in this world, neglected or abandoned or whatever I had. But it's not me. So the only thing to overcome it is to just express myself and experience what comes back, and then just see also the reaction that I have, and know that it's just a reaction from that self, that part of me that felt rejected, that felt neglected, that didn't feel accepted in this world, and then just totally be okay with that and look at it and just know like, but I'm now here to express myself, and I'm not here to protect myself. I'm here to express myself. I'm here to give that higher truth, to just be myself, and that way I can serve the masters by being myself, because that's all I came to do. And that other part that feels rejected, it feels rejected because it wanted something. It felt rejected because it wanted to be accepted.
Mm.
So but this part of me, it don't need acceptance from this world. It just is present. It just is present as it is, and it has the right to express whatever it wants to express, and the other people can react however they want to react to it. So it's just about, like, I feel that growing, that this part is growing, and like a flower, it grows every day a little bit more. And that other part that is still a little bit afraid, or like, oh, I'm gonna be rejected or whatever. Yeah, that's getting smaller, because I really feel like I'm just going to say it, because I don't have a bad intention. It's just my experience. I
Yeah.
have the right to have it. And in this situation, I will express it. And then I choose just for that, choosing every day to do it. That makes it more, like a flower getting bigger and
Yeah.
beautiful, more beautiful. And that other part getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And that's the way I do it. So that's my experience right now.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's kind of kind of mind-blowing when you think about like the attachment we've had to, that all of those cells and, that big egoic structure, like we were in, really embedded inside all of that for a long, long time. And that's why once you start to really, crack open all of it and,
Yeah.
you realize, oh, this is who I really am. And, and I see little nuances of when, I'm relating with people and I'm just like, where is that coming from? Like, is that's coming from some sort of expectation within a particular
Yeah.
collective group, you're expected, like in a workplace, like that's the way
Yeah.
you respond. Whereas, and then so I just think next time I'm just going to find it
Yeah.
a slightly more authentic response, you know what I mean? That's coming from here,
Yeah.
not from, um, yeah.
Yeah. I also, every time that I choose to express myself, I ask myself like, where is it coming from? It's just a split second, so I don't think a lot about it. Sometimes it is just like, okay, is it really not from my ego, whatever it is? So I always check like, where is it coming from? When I say something like yesterday to that guy,
Mm,
before I expressed myself, I just checked in myself like, okay, do I have any emotional things going on? Do I have some negative feelings? Do I have judgments? No, I don't have it. It's just totally me, the purity myself that wants to be expressed, and then I just do it. Because we are not ego free yet. So yeah, of course, I also always check like when I wrote that story on Facebook. I
mm-hmm.
also check like, okay, do I write this story to? Why do I write it?
Yeah.
Why do I post it? Julita said to me, just you can post it because you will help other people with it because there are a lot of people right now who are passing the 96 level, who are at that, you know so I posted it. She encouraged me to do it, but I check I check with myself like, okay, is this am I doing this to get something out for myself, or
Mm-hmm.
am I doing this just to express it and that's it? And I want to make sure that it's not ego driven, that it's not something that is based on the ego, because we still have to deal with that too. So I check. I always check.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I do too. I do too. Because yeah, we just need to sort of do this double check. Like, was this authentic? Because we've been running on automatic for such a long time that it's just we just got to go back and have a quick look. Like, oh, okay. And it's funny. I just sort of, I wrote something the other day too, um, and it's like, in the past, I would have described what I've written as something that was for my healing, like something to help heal me. But I just felt like I didn't feel like it was even for me. I felt like it was just simply words that needed and like just wanted to be expressed through me. And
Yeah.
but it's not like it was from someone else or that, it was the Christ putting the words through me, even though, I felt the Christ in me as it was happening. But it just flowed through and it was just like this expression that came and just wanted to flow through my being and
Yeah.
for many different reasons. And, I can
Yeah.
see all of those, the effects of it now. Like, there's
Yeah.
learning for me, there's opportunities for other people too. And, but I'm just non-attached to all of it. Like and
Yeah.
also, yeah, the other significant thing is just sort of we talked about this a little bit before um, this recording that the way I'm experiencing relationships too, like I just don't have nearly the same amount of attachment or sense of like belonging to people or like even family who, like I've been around for, decades and decades and decades. Like I just feel no attachment any longer. Like this,
No.
it's not that pull anymore. I haven't, yeah, I'm just really pulling away as far as relationships goes. But it doesn't mean there's not love and, authenticity there or anything. But
Yeah.
also I can be really present with people I don't even know as well. Like, because
Yeah, I do really also, I can recognize that because I really do enjoy. I feel so much free that can just relate to people without feeling that attachment to others. And then I can really be there from the heart, and I still connect to them. And I really love like my family, my friends, and other people. So I have a lot of appreciation for them, but I don't because you don't have that dependency anymore. You don't need anything from them, so you are just giving, but giving from another place, not giving to receive something or to keep the relationship or whatever, but just giving because you love that other person and you are just appreciating him or whatever it is. But I feel so free that I don't have that attachment that I had, because now before I was really kind of focused on getting a relationship in this world,
hmm.
and I don't have that anymore. So when I'm now when men approach me, I'm very neutral. And for me, because I know I've kind of feel wholeness inside of myself. I don't feel lack anymore, so I don't need them. But I still like them, so I can look at a man and oh yeah, it's a nice guy or whatever. But I don't have something like, oh, maybe this will work out, maybe this will be a relationship, maybe this will go this way, that way, or whatever. It's all not there. So I feel so much freedom. I can't explain it in words, and I'm so grateful because it was like a prison. Below the 96 level, I was a prisoner of that ego-based self, and now I don't have it. So my relationships are now free. Free to be there. You are free to like a partner, no matter a partner, sister. It doesn't matter with this. You are free to be here, but you are also free to leave. I'm still here. So whatever you do, it's okay. I'm if you leave, you don't take anything from me. I don't experience loss because it's your decision and it's your right to leave. But in the past, I know that the ego-based self that I had below the 96 level thought like, I lost so much. I lost so much. You know, all those men that I had in my life, they are gone. I experienced so much loss. Oh my God. Very dramatic. But there is no loss. There's freedom. When you free yourself from that, then you experience freedom. But you have to make the decision to leave it. You are not. I was even afraid when I was crossing that line. I said to Julita, but I'm afraid that the masters will not be there, that I will be left alone. There will be nothing there. Because if you are identified with that self, you think like, but when I let it die, there will be nothing there. What if then there's nothing after this? And then, but the masters say also like there is not there there is not nothing. Nothing doesn't exist. And it's very, very true.
hmm.
So that's also a very big thing that happened to me by crossing that line. Like, but then I have nothing. There is nothing after this. I'm afraid that there's nothing for that nothingness. But it's just an illusion to keep you still at that below the 96 level, because it's totally it's a total illusion. You gain freedom, but you need to cross that line.
Yeah, I think it's like when you're in that ego, the pre 96 level, it's like everything has to be controlled. And so, once you sort of move beyond and it's just it's surrender. Every single moment, it's surrender. So you can't control anything because you're just learning how to
Yeah,
flow. And I guess that's what nothing from that other perspective, that's what nothing seems to be. Like, there's
yeah,
no way of putting, because you don't know what is going to happen as you sort
yes,
of you go around a rock and flow
yeah,
over it.
yeah.
You
You
don't
are
know what it'll
flowing.
feel like, and
Yeah,
then you move on, and you don't really look back either. Like it's
um,
just yeah, it's very different. There's no
yeah. I enjoy the freedom that I have. That the non-attachments. I really enjoy it. I'm so grateful. Um, because it's so much more peaceful. And even though I still have things to resolve in myself, like the bird trauma and all those things, but it's so much easier to do it from this state,
absolutely.
from the state of freedom, from the things of this world, and not to be involved in these type of relationship that keep you like going in circles,
Hmm.
on and on and on, because it's keeping you away from resolving that birth trauma and all those, the primal self, all those things that come after it. So yeah, I'm very grateful to be in this space and to just can move further and flow and express myself and just work on my psychology. So yeah, I'm grateful.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Everything gets much, much better. So I think we can probably finish off here, Petra. But
Yeah,
yeah, it's been really lovely to, have you talk about, your experience, and that we can just have a little bit more of this, like, let me just finish off by saying, like, I think what's really, really exciting is that we're a part of a wave of many, many beings who are manifesting personal Christhood. And I just find it so exciting that we can do this together, that,
yeah,
that we can share
yeah.
it. I think it's very unique. Like, well, you know, the masters that have ascended before us, like, they didn't really have anyone else to.
Yeah, and it's also helpful to just add this to it. I know in the conference when I was still, passing that initiation, Julita told me like, Neptune, Neptune, she did cross she passed the initiation. It was like the dictation from Jesus. I think it was the Holland conference back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a year ago, and I thought like, okay, if she can do it, I can do it.
Yeah,
So it really
exactly.
does help. It does help. So
Yeah.
I hope that with this, you did it, I did it, other people did, and a lot of people are now in that phase that they just can, they need to make that switch. So yeah, it's it's kind of like almost getting normal. I hope it will get normal. That's just the normal way we go on, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that is really like, yes, I can do it. She can do it. I can do it.
Yeah, yeah.
So
And
it
if
helped me a lot.
each of us can sort of share a bit about, how we have experienced it as well, because we can give a bit more information than what, because Kim did it so long ago, he doesn't have all the fresh information, like, what
Yeah,
we've talked about today, like little
yeah.
nuances and
But still, I had. It's much easier to know that, like, Kim is the messenger, and then Julita is with Kim. So something unconsciously you think like, okay, but they are so far away, but they are not, in the sense that when you transcend and I transcend, then it's, oh, but she can do it also, but then I can do it too, so we are just, it's like Kim, Julita, other people I don't know, but me, other people who will do it and who already did it. It's also helpful
mm,
that we know from each other that we are doing it, because it helps other people to also see like, I can do it too, you know? So yeah, it's yeah, that helps.
Yeah.
That helped me. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah. It's a wonderful time to be alive. And I'm really
Yeah.
grateful to, be able to talk with you about all of this. And already since, we talked a little bit initially after you wrote that post for Facebook, and I've just noticed already there's sort of, you've significantly shifted along just in that short amount of time. Like yeah, it's just like, oh, it's magic.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, thanks, Petra, so much for joining today, and bye
You're
to
welcome.
watching.
Was nice to talk to you again.
Okay. Bye.
Okay, bye bye.